I'm Nikki McMaster, and welcome to TerraFlow. Today's day 8 of our progressive meditation container that is Earth and Ease, which means we are meditating for 8 minutes. Today I'm joining you from The Point in East Boston, another amazing studio that I work at and teach at. So today I'm landing on a bolster. Take some time to find your seat, right? That might look like sitting on the floor and coming into Sukhasana, this crisscross shape. You might be sitting in a chair. Maybe you're even lying down. Let there be some ease and a little bit of comfort in the body. And if there's different things that you like to do before you drop in, whether it's have a little bit of a movement or a breath practice, you might decide to pause the video. And we'll go ahead and get started with an inhale and an exhale. No rush to get there, but when you're ready, breathe in and let it go. Maybe you take a little bit of time here to notice the world that's around you. Or maybe you found the time to close the eyes right away. Each time you land, each time you take your seat of meditation, continue to offer yourself some compassion. Just giving yourself space to land with all of the complex layers that make up you. And reminding yourself that even with all those layers that you bring, like your little invisible backpack, there's nothing to fix. Today's theme, as we're diving into our 8-minute meditation practice, is trusting the process. If you've been on this journey since day 1, you're now at an 8-minute meditation. What a gift it's been to offer yourself this space. But even with the best of intentions, it can be really hard to show up every day. So take a moment to reflect on the journey that's brought you here. Without being hard on yourself, still keeping that lens of compassion at the forefront. And remind yourself that you have an endless supply of tools to help you on this path of mindful living and cultivating a meditative experience. And what's even more important to note here is that when you meditate, you don't need a fancy meditation pillow. You don't even need a guide, because everything you need is already within you. Continue to note what's connected to the earth, which might inspire you to sit up a little taller. Note where there could be a little less tension. Maybe the shoulders drop further away from the ears. Maybe the jaw, the cheeks relax on the face. Maybe the legs soften away from the body. And again, like I've mentioned over the days, keep taking the time to come back to what works for you. Throughout these 10 days, my plan's been to offer you themes, mindfulness tools, meditative tools, somatic tools that can help you be in your meditation practice. Because my meditation practice day to day and your meditation practice day to day, it's not going to look the same. Each day we show up a little different in our own unique manner. So what might have worked yesterday might not be exactly what's landing today, and that's more than okay. Today you might start to use visualization tools. And today, as we're working on trusting the process, you might think about flow. For some folks, maybe when they think of flow, maybe you think of the element of air, maybe the element of fire. But for me, when I think of flow, I often think of water. So perhaps here, as you're trusting the process, embracing what the flow of this practice looks and feels like, maybe you start to visualize a water source. Maybe it's a place in the natural world, or maybe it's a place in the imaginary world. Don't limit yourself to what this visualization looks like. Maybe as you're thinking of flow, you might think of a little trickle of water, these tiny little drops that add to the greater body. Another idea for visualizing flow of water could be like a stream or a river, having that steady, maybe strong flow. Reminding yourself that from the flow, there's a source and there's something that receives the flow. Maybe you consider what the source of this energy in your meditation looks like or feels like. And maybe you consider the benefits of this meditation, where you land and how you take it with you. One of my favorite visualizations I often come back to because I have the sound of it really ingrained in my head is the flow of water in the ocean with waves. When the waves crash upon a shoreline, that's one sound, that's one visualization. But what sticks with me often is that undertow, that little bit of pull back of the water once it's made its way onto the sand. And sometimes it has this really dreamy, like rain stick like sound, especially if you're on a pebbly beach, as the water slowly pulls back into its source. And if you like that visualization, maybe you match your breath to it. As you inhale, you think of expansiveness, right? That wave crashing onto the shore. And maybe as you exhale, you think about that water coming back to the source with gentle power, that little sound of the water moving over stones. Maybe there's something else that's landing, and I'd love to know what it is if you want to share. Embrace whatever flow you're finding and continue to remind yourself to be lovingly and compassionately aware each breath that moves in and each breath that moves out. For our last little bit of reflection here on day 8 of our meditation container, when we're considering flow, we can also think of the opposite of flow, which could be like blockage or resistance. So maybe you ask yourself here, where have you felt resistance during this container, during these practices? Maybe it's around consistency. Maybe 8 minutes is too much for you. You might take these questions with you to your journal, share them in the Instagram chat, whatever lands with you. Take some time here to slowly and mindfully come back to the present. A little rock side to side, a little shimmy, a little stretch. Thank you all so much for landing with me today. I hope you enjoyed today's 8-day meditation. 8-minute. I hope you enjoyed today's 8-minute meditation. And I can't wait for our last 2 days together, 9 and 10 minutes.